Guys, that guy with the pencil here, and let's chat about some Super Saiyan, well, really just Saiyan transformations. You know, Dragon Ball is still one of my favorite animes. I've seen better, I'll admit, I've seen better anime. I've liked other anime better, but still, Dragon Ball is always going to hold such a place in my heart, and one of the biggest reasons for it is obviously these transformations. So, we gotta go through it, we gotta go through it. We got the perfection, we got the great, we got the yeah, okay. We got the meh. And the good old why do you exist? But who are we starting off with? What are we starting off with? Well, I feel like we should get some of the bad apples out the way first. And one of the biggest bad apples has gotta be so like Super Saiyan Grade 3 has been and always will be knockoff legendary Super Saiyan. And it was never interesting. I never liked it. If there's someone out there who actively likes Super Saiyan Grade 3, respect to you, man. I don't see what you see, but I'm glad you see something in it, because I don't see anything but a waste of time. Like, literally, what did this form do except get absolutely outplayed by Cell, act as another useless transformation for Trunks, and then end up being called useless by Goku himself? Like, all around, this form was kind of just it was thrown aside. Like, there was no real point to it. So I'm really it don't really do it for me as a transformation. So yeah, honestly, I don't even like talking about it. It's also just ugly. I gotta stop insulting things like that. But moving on to another why do you exist? Happens to be another form that Trunks undertakes, and Super Saiyan Hikari, Super Saiyan Rage, Super Saiyan Waste of Time. Like, the Goku Black arc is like I'd say it's like tied for my favorite arc of Dragon Ball Super. That and just parts of the tournament power raised it up so high for me. But I feel like I felt insulted by this form because just like it came out of nowhere. It was never explained. No one even really commented on it. Trunks kind of just did it one time, and everyone was just like, "Oh wow, Trunks, you have this super new powerful form," and then it just was never brought up again. We know it. No one talks about it. Like every time a Super Saiyan form or something was discovered, it had like some sort of build up to it. It was like discussed afterwards as something weird or strange, or like even it was given a mention. But Trunks kind of just did this, and no one cared because honestly it was filler. It was a way to stretch the arc out longer for more nonsensical stuff to happen, and that's one of the biggest problems with Goku Black arc. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense, and this form right here does not help that. Doesn't help its case at all. Like, not in the slightest does it help its case. So yeah, I don't really like the form. How many theories, how many explanations you want to put behind it? It didn't do anything for me. It didn't even really do much in the narrative. Um, if we want to talk about, are there any more why do you yeah, honestly, super duper blooper Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Saiyan God. I know what it was there for. It was there to make up for this little thing, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, but or Vegeta's lack of Kaioken, so you couldn't stack on Super Saiyan Blue. But you made it bluer, you made it sparklier, and you made him a bit buffer. Like, that's am I supposed to be happy with that? Like, it's not visually appealing. I personally, this is just me personally, Super Saiyan Blue itself has never been personally appealing for me. It just never did it for me personally. Can't necessarily explain why. I think it's just it lacks what Super Saiyan God lacked, and it lacks what Super Saiyan lacked. Super Saiyan lacked the novel. Super Saiyan had the novelty of being one of the first, just like on will transformations that Saiyan could pull off on their own. Had a really good introduction, really good build up to it, and was foreshadowed a lot. Was very well implemented into the narrative and led to everything else. Super Saiyan God had the fact that it was a subversion. It led to a completely different design flip. It literally flipped all expectations, staying mostly calm, slimming down, doing all that. Like, I know many people have said this before, but Super Saiyan Blue is just Super Saiyan with a recolor and some extra added aura. it's not really the best. Like you could have done better with that. It's sad to think about, but it's true. And I think that's really it when we hit the why do you exist. Like, I want to talk about actual Super Saiyan forms, so I'm probably going to leave things like Blue Kaioken and Ultimate out of this because I see, but I want to talk about. Hmm. You know what? Fine, I'll rank them too. Ultimate, it's a meh. Like, I never. It showed up, got out, was cool for 5 seconds against Super Buu, then got reduced to nothing. Was never used by anyone else. Gohan brought it back in the Tournament of Power, but he still didn't end up doing much in the Tournament of Power. It was pretty much worthless, and it's always been worthless. Same thing with where is it? Super Saiyan 3. It was introduced. It was cool for a good 5 seconds against Buu. It has one of my favorite transformations. Like, it lacks the build up. It lacks any sort of like proper, real introduction. But I Sean Schummel screaming for 3 minutes straight or 2 minutes. Amazing. I like that. I like the transformation. I like the animation behind it. But still, it's a meh. It didn't do much. It's weird looking. Like the no eyebrows. Just even on Gotenks. Like, I feel like I'm more okay with Gotenks because the hair literally just becomes half of Gotenks' body. It just looks weird on Goku. It didn't do much. It didn't even do much for Gotenks either because he just ended up empowering Super Buu. Same thing with Ultimate. It didn't do anything except extend an arc beyond it because the people who used it didn't use it effectively. Goku could have beaten Majin Buu. Gotenks could have beaten Majin Buu. Gohan could have beaten Majin Buu. None of them did it because plot, and it just makes the characters look dumb. And it makes the forms that they used and the forms that they achieved look worthless. And another, I'm gonna ask, why do you exist? Mainly because I don't like heroes, and I don't even remember what this is for. Is this like Dark Super Saiyan or whatever? Whatever. I don't care what it is. It's at the bottom. Like, I don't even mind. What is that? Then we have another meh. Like, I like False Super Saiyan. I like False Super Saiyan just because when I really like the Lord Slug movie for some reason. I can't necessarily explain to you why I like the Lord Slug movie a lot, but I do. And thusly, False Super Saiyan gets a pass, and not in Why Do You Exist. Even though it showed up for 5 seconds, made absolutely no sense, was never mentioned again by anybody. But hey, it's in the middle of a movie. It's whatever. It was cool. I like the song that played with it. I thought it was alright. And if a song didn't play with it, I made me think of an AMV I used to watch a lot, and this song worked good with the transformation. What can I say? Now to get into the okay. Yeah, Super Saiyan Blue, it's literally just okay. Like, if it'd honestly be a meh, if not bordering on Why Do You Exist, if it wasn't for Goku's transformation into it in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Because whew, that transformation was beautiful. That was good. That was good for Super Saiyan Blue. And like, I'm putting these two right next to one another. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken is just Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken, and it's whatever. But both of these transformations, both Blue and Blue Kaioken, they had transformation scenes where it looked really cool, or it was interesting to watch them activate. And Blue has had good fights. I can't say like Blue hasn't had a good fight. Like, you have Goku versus Hit, both versions. You have Goku and Vegeta versus Jiren. You have those moments, and you have, of course, Goku and Vegeta versus Broly. Blue was cool there, but I don't know. Like, the aesthetic of Blue doesn't do it for me at all. And actually, we do have another meh. Mastered Ultra Instinct. As much as I like Ultra Instinct as a concept, hold on, let me put it, because I can't say it was useless. I just don't like the route it went. Like, it makes sense, you know, Ultra Instinct, the angels are constantly in Ultra Instinct. They all have white hair and silver, and I think gray or silver eyes, so it makes perfect sense why it looks like that. But it doesn't mean I have to like it. Like, I would have preferred, I think a lot of people, I can't say everyone, because there's gonna be people that say, I love Master Ultra Instinct. There are gonna be people out there who'd be like, well, I like Master Ultra Instinct a whole lot more. But a lot of other people who agree with me say Ultra Instinct Mastered would have been perfect if it was just Goku in his base form. Like, if it was literally just that, it would have been perfectly fine. I would have liked it a lot. I think it would have been great. Because it just shows Goku's not forcing anything out of his body anymore. It's just his body and his mind kind of not even syncing up, just disconnecting enough. So like Goku's still there, but it's his body doing all the work. And I know, well, you couldn't have the drastic power up that way. And it was just like, that's perfectly fine. You can do whatever drastic, crazy power nonsense you want. I just feel like the aesthetic would have been better. I feel like it's way, do I say garish or something like that? It's just way too flashy, especially in comparison to what I think is a great form, Ultra Instinct Omen. I like how it has that little bit of a push. Like, it's still mostly just base Goku, but it's base Goku with certain elements of an evolution. Like, I feel like the black works really well with his hair. I don't mind the silver eyes. I feel like the fact that he still had the shirt on made the contrast work with the white around him even better. In episode 112, the introduction to Ultra Instinct Omen, amazing. Still is amazing to this day. The fight, it has the fighting style of Ultra Instinct Omen. Everything is cool, and I like it for that. That's why I like it so much more than this, because just... I know this is the form we're going to see eventually whenever Goku masters it, but still, I'm always going to prefer Ultra Instinct Omen. And let me see, how do I feel about Super Saiyan? It's cool, you know, Great Ape in regular human size form. That's nice, I guess, but like it's cool. Well, I don't know how to like properly articulate my feelings about Super Saiyan, or like wrathful Saiyan or something. So I've heard a lot of people call it like the wrathful state. I'm just like, okay, wrathful state, whatever. It doesn't change much. It bulks him up a bit and it makes him go a bit more feral. And maybe I still think it's great. But I like feral done either purely or in an indirect way that still ties in the same lineage. Even though this is a way that ties in the same lineage straight up. So, really a toss-up. I still think Super Saiyan... I keep calling it Super Saiyan. Wrathful State is great. I like it. Also up there is... That's not full power Super Saiyan. I guess that's just like Berserk Super Saiyan. I like it. I like it a lot. Just because it takes the old legend of what the Super Saiyan should be and makes it a reality. Because every time that Vegeta mentioned the Super Saiyan, it was all the way back in the Namek arc. It was always this warrior of destruction, this primal force that was unbelievably powerful and couldn't be stopped. And Broly just exemplifies that when he's in this crazed Super Saiyan state and he's going around destroying everything, attacking everything. And that's great, because one of my favorite things about Saiyans as a whole is their almost natural primal nature. Like, they're natural born warriors, obviously. It's what they're bred for and what they fight for. But the fact that it comes from this deep feral nature within them that earns them this title as just this galactic scourge, because they're monsters in short. And the way Broly exemplifies that is really cool. And that's also why I think legendary / full power Super Saiyan, or whatever you want to call this form that Broly has. Why will it not let me do that? Whatever you want to call this form that Broly has, it is also really, really good, because it's just a further extension. It's basically legendary Super Saiyan from the original Broly movie, but it's also just the extension of the Super Saiyan that's just gone absolutely nuts and is full power. It's a monster that's just gone insane and has lost all reins of control. And I like that. It's really, really cool. I think it's great. And getting up, man, yo. Actually, no. I'm gonna put Rose up in great. And I feel like Rose would be up in perfection if it worked, not a different angle. I can't say if it worked a different angle, because it doesn't really make much sense. Rose would be up higher if the slim nature of it didn't only come from Goku Black just naturally being slimmer than Goku. If it was just an aspect of the transformation that takes an element from Super Saiyan God, if that was part of it, I feel like it'd be better. But honestly, everything else about Super Saiyan Rose looks cool. I'll admit I usually didn't like it, or I initially didn't like it, but then as I was exposed to it more, the aura, how it works, the way it complements Goku Black's outfit, the way everything fits together, you know, it being two different God keys mixing together, the God key stored within Goku's body along with the God key that comes with Zamasu's soul since he switched bodies with him, and it bursts into this wild color and this murderous flame. Everything's cool about it. It's an imperfection though, just because, once again, sort of popped up out of nowhere, and I'm not sure if we got an official explanation for it. I think there was one in the manga, but like the explanation, I always just headcanoned for it. And as much as I love to explain away a story in a nice, cool, interesting way, you can do that for any narrative ever, and that doesn't make the narrative good. So that's really my stance on Rose. Though I still think it's great. I find his transformation scene cool. I find everything about it cool except for the fact that it came out of nowhere, and then like never touched on ever again. But now we're getting up to, wow, we got a lot of things of imperfection now that I think about it. So the Great Ape and the Golden Great Ape. So I think these two are amazing because once again, we tap into that primal root, tracing all the way back to Dragon Ball, the Saiyan's nature, why they were called monkeys in the first place by Frieza, because of their tails, and the fact that they turn to the full moon, kind of just like were-apes, like werewolves, but with the monkey version. And I like how it brings out that sort of primal nature to, like, this is the form that killed Grandpa Gohan. This is the reason why Goku grew up alone and was always such a threat and liability whenever the full moon came out. It was the reason why the moon was destroyed twice within the series, once by Master Roshi, second time by Piccolo, because it was always such a threat. And then you picture it as this monstrous form that can't be tamed, can't be controlled, because it never was. Like Goku, a martial arts master, a martial arts warrior, couldn't figure it out. Gohan couldn't figure it out. And you have Vegeta pop up. He's just like, oh yeah, by the way, I do this on command and I got it under perfect control. Hold on, dog. And then you see how it works in this controlled fashion, and you begin to understand how, honestly, flat out amazing, it's weird to say it like that, but amazing this form is. Because you see it provides the power, the speed, and everything. The only downside that it has is whatever lumbering movements and the fact that your opponent's so much smaller than you. So like if you get your hands on them with your speed and your ability, as we saw with Goku, you're still just getting crushed. Your bones are just going to be mush by the time whatever Great Ape is done with you. But I like how it takes the kaiju nature of typical Saiyans with their Great Ape form, but you can combine it with the civilized nature of warriors that Saiyans also are, and how Vegeta did that. I wish it didn't just get written out of the series, because I feel like Tails and the Great Ape was such a natural part of not only Dragon Ball Z and Saiyans, but even just Dragon Ball, because Goku had the tail for forever. So to just have it removed and just like not brought up again, and of course it was forgotten for Goten and Trunks, like all the stuff like that, really removed a really interesting aspect of the series for me. I'm sad, but I still think it's perfection. Yeah, Golden Great Ape is basically up here as an extension of regular Great Ape, and I just think it looks cool, and I like what it leads to, which leads straight into Super Saiyan 4. So, I like Super Saiyan 4 so much. One, because of the transformation scene behind it. I think that it scared me as a kid, but I also found it amazing watching Goku just slowly mutate into the Golden Great Ape, and then he's calmed down by seeing his granddaughter, a picture of his granddaughter that his granddaughter brings to him, of him as a happy human being, and he shrinks down and he forces himself into this smaller, more compact body, and then he stands there as a Super Saiyan 4, and you just realize, whoa, he's not only unbelievably powerful, and he's not only in a form of Super Saiyan, but he's almost sort of back to this era of Saiyans. Like, he's very much animalistic in the sense that he's a lot more savage. If you'll notice, Goku in this form almost is reminiscent of like the original wrathful transformation of a Super Saiyan, or Gohan's transformation to Super Saiyan 2. It's that sort of careless edge that comes with the primal nature of the Saiyans that looks so cool. I know the design is dumb. Like, where do the pants come from? Where's the shirt go? How does it come back when it reverts? Mentally, I'm able to excuse all of that. because of how cool it looks, what it does, and the lore behind it. Everything about Super Saiyan 4 is perfection for me, except for, the one clothes thing. But even then, I'll let it slide. I've seen crazier stuff. But to get off of Super Saiyan 4, let's move on to another form I like a lot. Honestly, for the exact opposite reasons of Super Saiyan 4. Do I like now that this is making me think about it, do I like 4 more than like these two are literally tied. Like you could ask me on a different day and I'd probably keep flipping them back and forth. But for now, you know what, since we're here, let's say that God is higher than Super Saiyan 4. And the reason I like Super Saiyan God so much is because this sounds bad, and I'm gonna critique doing this when other authors do this, when other creators do this in general, but subverting one's expectations for Super Saiyan God was honestly great. And it's not just subverting the audience's expectations, it's subverting the character's expectations in universe. Because when you think about it, every single time a Super Saiyan form, up to that point at least, had popped up, it was always get bigger, get more muscular, have your hair grow spikier, have your hair grow longer, bigger, buffer, better, blah, 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 blah. So when Goku pops up and his hair is reasonably calm, his eyes aren't intense, he's not angry, he actually slims down, and he's just exponentially more powerful, beyond anything seen up to that point in the entire franchise. And you just look at that and you're just like, whoa, that's crazy. And one of the things that I like that Broly did is that it took those little points that you would notice about Super Saiyan God. It's more calm nature, the fact that it's slimmer, the fact that it's just overall really a more tranquil form. And it takes that, so the user of the form doesn't just go fisticuffing and punching people and blasting them away. They use weight, they use balance, restricting, they fight like martial artists rather than punching machines. And I find that really cool. I love how it brings into that its own version of a tranquil warrior, and I think that's great. I think Super Saiyan God is definitely one of my favorite forms aesthetically. I love the red, the fiery aura, the slimmed down nature, just the calm nature of the form in general, which is weird because I also really like Super Saiyan 4 for the chaotic primal nature it brings. Because like Super Saiyan 4 taps into the nature of the Saiyans as they were, a primal species of raging warriors, but Super Saiyan God taps into the inherent goodness, the inherent good nature that every being has within them, which is why it's so calm. But all that power that a good being has comes out in that flaming aura and all that stuff like that. I think God is fantastic. And man, if it wasn't for these next two forms, it'd be up at the top. So, Super Saiyan 2. Wow, Super Saiyan 2 surely is something. And when it comes to Super Saiyan 2, this is it's so close to being my favorite form. But it's just that it's the one that beats it, just has so much more behind it. Super Saiyan 2 was built up in a way very similar to Super Saiyan 1, where it was given all this hype that yes, Gohan, you're going to beat Cell. Yes, you can push Super Saiyan even further than it already is. Yes, everyone else is doing it wrong. Like, you have your Super Saiyan Grade 3. I don't know where Super Vegeta is on this, but you have your Super Saiyan Grade 3, your Super Saiyan Grade 2, your Super Saiyan Grade 1, even Super Saiyan Grade 4, the Mastered Super Saiyan form. You have all these different ways of evolving the Super Saiyan form, but they're all doing it wrong. There's some missing ingredient that everyone's missing right now. Even Goku, the martial arts genius that he is, couldn't get the special sauce just right. And then you have this scene where, admittedly, in context of the scene, it doesn't make much sense. What the heck? Like 16? Why is 16 telling Gohan everything about the world and planet and what's gonna happen if he loses to Cell and lets everyone die? Even though Gohan was watching everyone die before him, why that snapped him doesn't really make much sense. But I still can respect the fact that Gohan's a kid, and watching like actively watching someone else perish because of something that he's refusing to do, something that he's keeps repeating that he can't do. To watch a not a well, 16's a robot, but a sentient creature die because of his own inadequacy, and that pushes him to go beyond and break the Super Saiyan barrier properly and achieve Super Saiyan 2. It's just amazing, and I'm really on Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan. That's where I prefer it the most. He's my favorite version of Super Saiyan 2 by far, because same thing with Vegeta. Vegeta doesn't really look different with Super Saiyan. It just recolors his hair. Ultimate base form, blah blah blah. Like the way the hair spikes up, the electricity starts coursing around him. Everything just looks better in Super Saiyan 2. And then of course you have the fight with Cell, well really the curb stomp with Cell. That's amazing. And Super Saiyan 2 is just, it's really brought up just as much as Super Saiyan after it's introduced. Goku and Vegeta learn it. Goku uses it against the monster. People use it all the time just as a measuring stick. Future Trunks gets it because it's that nice middle ground where it's not the crazy power that is Super Saiyan 3 and it's not the God forms. So you can achieve it realistically without anything crazy happening, but it still has so much weight and emphasis behind it and so much of that good build up. Honestly, Super Saiyan 2, fantastic. One of my favorite forms ever. But I still put the original Super Saiyan higher. Now you may be wondering why, and to tell you why, it's because of how much build up it had and how much proper sense that it made. Like, I talk about this all the time when I'm doing story analysis. The cost of something like Super Saiyan, the cost of an answer to a situation is always very, very important to me. So, ignoring all the fantastic build-up that it had, all the way back in, like, maybe even the Saiyan arc when Vegeta showed up. I'm not sure if he talked about Super Saiyans there, but he always brought it up through Namek. Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan. The whole reason the Saiyans even were killed off by Frieza in the first place was because of the legend of the Super Saiyan. The Super Saiyan was always hyped up. It was always built up to this point. And then you get to the point where they thought they succeeded. They thought Frieza was dead, and then suddenly he just rises from the water, and he's ready to kill. He's ready to kill, and he axes Piccolo. Like, Piccolo almost died immediately. So that spoils Goku's blood. And then Krillin actually dies, Goku's best friend. And in that moment, because we know the Dragon Balls are gone. If Piccolo dies again, that means the Earth Dragon Balls are gone. But the whole reason they even came to Namek was because they can't revive people twice with the Earth Dragon Balls. So even if Piccolo lived, that means Goku's best friend of so many years, decades at this point, Krillin, was dead and gone forever. And everyone else was about to die too. So in the moment, the cost that snapped Goku and triggered Super Saiyan, beautiful, amazing. The form itself, it's so simple yet so it's weird to say because it was made as a coloring. It was made as a time saving tool. That's how Toriyama said. That's why it's white in the manga. But even just in context, the way the hair spikes up to represent the rising power, the way it turns gold as this rich, vibrant color of raw energy, and it just goes off and then snaps. Like, Super Saiyan was always built around rage and inadequacy, and every single Super Saiyan transformation until you get to like Super is beautiful. Every single time someone goes Super Saiyan, hits that first level, breaks that first barrier, it's for a good reason, and it's beautifully built up from Goku all the way up to, man, well, Goten and Trunks kind of made it a joke, but Goku, Trunks, Future Trunks, Gohan, Vegeta, all of them had amazing reasons to go Super Saiyan. Everything about Super Saiyan is great. I feel like Super Saiyan rarely ever got disrespected. It always had really cool fights to go along with it. Super Saiyan's cool. And there you go. That's really my view on this kind of ranking for the Saiyan forms. Do I think some of them could be improved on or used better? Yes. I hope maybe Master Ultra Instinct can grow on me. Maybe Super Saiyan Blue can grow on me some more. I hope we see more Broly. Hopefully he gets more so I can rank him higher. All around, I think this is an honest, really, really good view. Honestly, this is the ranked order, except like I'd put Grade A higher. But yeah, everything is practically in order. So there you go. That's my view on the Saiyan forms. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. You don't know how much it helps me. Every time I see a comment, I'm just like, yes, they believe in your boy. I'm so sorry, but you know how it is. And please, you know what to do. Hit that like button. It's free. You don't have to just take the time out your day. Just click the button, and it's not that much. And if you really want to, leave a comment. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. And this is that guy with a pencil writing off.